Hi, this is Developer Expert's movie about Delphi for iOS and the Apple Instruments application. My name is Daniel Magin from Frankfurt.
And this is Daniel Wolf from Hamburg. Hello.
Hey Danny, how are you?
Fine, thanks.
Okie dokie. Today we want to discuss a little bit about the Apple Instruments stuff. Apple Instruments, cool application, and we want to show how it works with Delphi for iOS. First important, this Delphi release, what we are showing is a beta, but Embarcadero MVPs are allowed to report and to blog and to make videos about that over the MVP beta blocking guidelines. Parallel, we want to make one slide advertising in 18th to 19th April in Düsseldorf and 22 and 23rd April in Hamburg. We are creating a great 2-day workshop about Delphi iOS development, and yeah, feel free to join, and all information about how to book and so on, it's on www.developer-experts.net. Okay, what is Apple Instruments?
Apple Instruments is part of Xcode. Xcode, the most important development tool on the Mac side. Apple Instruments is an analyzer. It allows you to inspect a running instance of your app on the device. So basically the same what the traditional tools like Task Manager or Process Explorer on the Windows platform were.
The most important thing is that Instruments is not a debugger. Instruments helps you to analyze your for example, how your graphic is working, the memory, who is responsible for memory leaks, you can analyze how many objects allocated and so on, your memory usage. You can see who is responsible for energy, which sensors are running, the display light and so on, network traffic. So you can analyze everything. Okay. We have prepared here an application. It's a stupid non-profit application, but we have here some issues implemented to help to show how you can analyze with the Instruments application a Delphi for iOS application. On this tab control, you see, and that's Reflector what he's running. You see it really live my screen for my iPhone. For my real device, hardware device, and I have here cool rotating Delphi helmets, and in this application we want to show how your core graphic API, what's going on. On the second screen we have here some couple of buttons.
Yes, on the second screen we want to analyze the memory usage of our application. So we allocate memory, more and more memory, we free the memory, and we want to analyze live on the device how our application behaves.
So we have here in this button memory test Arc. Arc is a new memory architecture which comes with the iOS operating system, and it's an automatic reference count architecture. So you have nothing to do anymore with how to free an object. So if it's 0, the or no pointer is assigning anymore to this object, it's like a garbage collector. It's automatic destroys the object. But about Arc, we are creating, I think, a separate movie, because
Absolutely,
Arc, it's too complex to explain in 5 minutes. On this button, we have here a variable in the procedure, an object list of objects. Then we have a show message step in procedure. We create this object list and adding 10,000 of objects, and then we are leaving this procedure. And then we are seeing later that all these objects are destroyed because on this variable is no pointer anymore looking to this variable. Okay. On the second button,
the second button, it's quite a similar code. We are also creating a list, and we are populating the list with 10,000 of objects. But the difference is the list itself is part of the form. So the list object itself stays alive. So it won't be freed by the automatic reference counting after leaving the procedure.
So on the free button, then we are releasing all the objects in this T list. It's not a T object list, so we have to do it by hand. And then we are freeing the list container.
This is quite the classic programming style, creating an object, using it and freeing it by hand.
Yeah. Then we have a third button. It's called Eat Memory, and you see here we have here Memory Monster.
It's fantastic, a memory monster. Memory monster itself is also just a list containing to the form. We are creating the list in the form create event. It's standard so far. And then in the on-click event of the button, we are... Can you show us the on-click event,
okay,
please?
Here's the creator. Okay.
Oh, yes.
From
okay.
the constructor. Okay, and...
Here. We have declared a variable to t bytes, and we set it to a length of 50 megabytes, and adding this to the list. So each time we are clicking the button, we occupy more 50 megabytes more of memory. So if you click 10 times on the button, we occupy 500 megabytes of memory.
Yeah, that's a memory monster. Okay, on the third screen we have here network, and behind here is a web browser component, and we are doing here on this toolbar button nothing else as loading in the web browser URL youtube.com and to analyze later network graphic. Okay, on the GPS sensor side it's very similar.
It's quite standard. We have a T-sensor location component, and we are querying the hardware sensors of the device using that component. So as you can see, we are working on very different technical areas of the device, and all of them will be analyzed using the instruments software.
Okay, so first I would say let's start instruments.
Yes.
With instruments, when you start this is coming with Xcode. So you have to install not only the command line tools of Xcode, you have to install over the App Store. If you go under the Apple menu, there's an App Store icon, and you can download for free the Xcode installation kit. And it's downloading and installing. Then instruments is included in your on your machine, and then you can start this. Okay, instruments have, if you start this and create a new project, you get here some couple of different what you like to do. It's instruments iOS simulator, the Mac OS X, or what we do is here direct on the iOS device. If you create a blank project, then you have here library, and you can very easy by drag and drop add to the analyze whatever which kind you want to inspect, the Wi-Fi network in battery, the memory monitor, or whatever. For example, the connections or Bluetooth or CPU. Interesting is also that you can type in here the CPU, and you can see CPU monitor or how the CPU is working with your battery and so on.
Just to make this clear, we are not talking about the CPU of your computer. We are talking about the CPU of your smartphone.
Correct. So there's also here some really cool templates. So let's start with the OpenGL, with the core animation. I would suggest. You see here that's a nice small template fixed. So you can go here to my iPhone, and we want not to analyze everything which is running on the iPhone. What we like to do is with choose target, you see all your applications which is installed on your iPhone. I have a couple of applications on my iPhone.
Really a huge list.
Yeah, and here is the product, the FM Analyze. That's the program what we have done. So let me bring some couple stuffs together. That let me close the reflector and restart reflector again. that's here on the same screen, and that you can see what I'm doing. So I bring here AirPlay, perfect. So
this is a live view from your device.
yeah, correct. So I start now over the instruments, the application on my device, and now I start the animation. That's that was not the core animation what we need. So we need the OpenGL driver. You can also add on the library some other some other OpenGLs, or not only the driver, the analyzer, or whatever you can add, or as a CPU monitor. That's very simple to do here. For example, I want to add the CPU monitor to see what's also going on. So we go here to the FM Analyze and press again the record button.
So we start the application by pressing the button in Instruments, not on the device.
Correct. So let me bring, so now I switch here the switch, and you see now what's going on. And you see that with rotating, so I bring switch off. So you see it's going down, and I can also switch on. And interesting is how what is coming if I bring the application in the background mode, and you see it's really going down. If I go back, wonderful, it's working. And also if I go to this tab sheet, you see the FireMonkey framework is not rotating anymore the helmets, and now it must be coming up. You see also in the time profile the information, and in the CPU monitor. So I can stop now the recording, and you can see now here with this, you can go in here and see everything in percentage, what's going on. You see here the time profile, you can go to the CPU monitor, you get the information, which processes are running and so on. You can parent-child samples and so on. And also here on the OpenGL, you see here really how many animations per second was done during this time. So if I go here, and yeah, that's very simple. And also you see here some really cool marks here. You see that here the program is go in the suspended mode in the background, and here is coming in the foreground. That's really interesting. For the instruments is a really big documentation on developerapple.com to learn much more about this tool. Okay, let's go to the memory.
Yeah, so in the program we want to switch to the second tab soon. We have to prepare our panel. Daniel will add some memory.
The allocations.
Some memory sensors.
Yeah, this one is enough, I think. So
should be good, yes.
There are a lot of more memory sensors, like the stuff for memory leaks and so on. So let's start to record this application. Now the starting needs much more time because it depends from the sensors what you are using. So we go now to the memory, and perhaps you can remember that here when I press the memory arc, that this 10,000 objects will create it after I pressed this step in procedure. Let me bring back very quick the code. Perhaps you remember that we have here in the button one click, here we are creating the stuff, and then we are leaving, and then all the objects must be destroyed. So I press. The interesting values are live bytes and living. Live bytes, Daniel, we have this memory which is allocated.
Yeah, this is kind of a basic memory usage of our application.
The living objects are how many objects are created in the memory.
Yes, but in this term it's not t object. this is the memory manager speaking, and he speaks about objects in memory.
Yeah, that's much more than not only the application and so on. So, but remember, when I press now here the OK button on my message box, then 10,000 you see on living that I have now 120,000 objects. I leave it now, and you see it was falling down. And also the memory works perfect. The next was the 10,000 objects we created in the T list, which are running in the form. So it's created. You see memory is going a little bit up, also the living, and now we are free the objects, and you see in the living and the bytes, I repeat, and free. Now we have the memory monster. Danny, should we try out?
Yes, press the button once, please.
Got it.
So we allocated 50 megabytes of memory in one step. So you see it in the chart, it's a huge step. We should have made the other objects a little bit larger to just to visualize the 10,000s of objects, but don't care. So look at the column live bytes. So now we have a memory footprint of 175 megabytes.
So press again each memory, and you see now we have 225.
It's not that surprising.
So, and if I press and press...
It's so funny, press and press and press.
Isn't it amazing what my iPhone can eat?
Yes, you have a very strange iPhone. So we could play this game forever.
And now it's crashed.
We cannot play this game forever. So, was our application invalid?
Good question.
Does it have an error?
No, we eat too much memory. So what's really behind? If you go in Xcode, and in Xcode you have a tool, it's called, in the window, it's the organizer. Let me bring it up. And where is my iPhone? This is my iPhone. Okay, have to read some stuff. Button. Got it. And now we have here console. I will clear now my console. Here you can see everything what the iPhone is sending an information like a log file.
Which is quite a lot.
Yeah. So let's start the application. So that's the application.
So the most part of this log file from your iPhone will be uninteresting for you.
So what I do now the monitor, okay, this is not the important, this one here, the reflectors up. So what I do now is I pressing now the eat memory button. Once, twice, third.
You see it in the chart. Your program is consuming memory.
5. Let me clear 6 times, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So now you see that the iOS operating system is sending you a received memory warning. That means the iOS operating system, AK baby, if you eat more memory you have to release, I will kill you. Now I press again eat memory, and you see a couple of exceptions coming up because the iOS operating system is killing your application now because you eat too much memory. So look how to handle that.
It's a tough life for an application on a device, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a small, it's only a small computer. So this memory warning then is coming in my application, isn't it?
Yes, the warning itself is sent from the iOS operating system to your application. And it's called an application event. And we can register a handler for these events. you see there are different kind of events, and one of these events is low memory. And as you can see, in this case we got 3 warnings. Normally you get 2 warnings or at least 1 warning, and then you will have to do something. You have to free some memory. Not necessarily your main business objects, but you could free some caches. You could free...
Yeah, clean up your room.
Clean up your room, exactly. Things you don't need anymore.
Okay, this application event handler, we got it here. And what we do is we clear the memory monster, all these MBs away, so we have in a cool thing the that's behind. So let me go also in debug mode, so we can or let me go one step back. What we have here in the memory, in the allocations, you see here there's a lot of stuff, but we cannot read anything about that, and so because we have no debug code inside.
So what we see here is the call stack.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that your application has allocated lots and lots of memory, but sometimes you just don't know why and where this happens. So you start lurking down in the call stack.
Yeah.
Right now we just have the code addresses.
Yes, you see here the code addresses. If I go in, and you see nothing what's really behind, and that's really not very explaining what's coming up and so on. So what we are doing in our Delphi code is we go to debug, and let me run the PA server so I can deploy this application again with debug mode. So I will compile now the application. Okay, so let me bring up here again that's the application. Okay, but I have to run it from
instruments.
Yeah. So what we have now with the debug code, Danny?
So basically we did the same thing we did in earlier times, just normal Delphi. So if you want to see useful information in the call stack, you have to generate the debug information.
Okay. So I go now to eat my memory, and eat and eat and eat and eat, 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 eat. And you see now it's down because we received this memory warning, and we was cleaning up the cookie monster.
Now you could play this game forever, really.
Are you sure?
Absolutely.
Do you see these flags here on the top? And this is the memory warning flag.
Yes,
And
but
you
our
see-
application responded to it
Correct.
and freed some memory.
I can create really cool buildings with my memory here. No. Okay.
You're an artist.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let's go here in the debug code. So if we go in the object list, you see here much more information now. What's behind.
And the fun part is we are using the Apple software to instrument a Delphi for iOS application using the Delphi for iOS debug information. So as you can see, we have really standard compliant debug information here. So the Apple software is able to read this information.
Yeah, you see here the FMX FireMonkey framework. You see here T-control, mouse up or whatever. You can read out everything. Okay. So let's go to the next tab. And so the third tab what we have was the analyzing of the network. Let's play a little bit with that. So if we go here to the network stuff, and it's So we're starting again the process on my FM Analyze and start record, and so we go to the network tab and say refresh, and we are reading YouTube. So we stop the application to see what's really now behind. Is you see here different processes, but I want to see the connections where all my iPhone is connecting out, so you can really analyze each application which is on your iPhone, who is calling home. And you see, for example, here my FM Analyze, my FM Remote. So let's look here, for example. There is one address, and the cool thing is to analyze how it works. Let me go to, I need this on this side. If you say, for example, ping, it is fa-in-f1e1e100.net. You see here IP address. Let me copy this IP address and let's look who is that, and you see that's from Google, because YouTube is running on Google. You can really find out who is connect and so on. You can also see on the connection the interfaces, what is used, the Wi-Fi or loopback adapter or the 3G, 4G network and so on. So there are different couple of aspects what you can do. Okay, and the last one was the sensors. That was also cool. Daniel, what we can do there?
Well, accessing the sensors has, of course, impact to CPU activity, to energy usage, to...
So, analyze. Let me bring up. So you see here the energy uses. You can add also CPU uses and so on. You see the GPS is not active. So if I bring now active the GPS, you see now with red that my GPS is on and my GPS is off. And something also, brightness of the screen. If I go now to my settings and say here let me bring with that's German. So the brightness, you see the brightness also on this bar here. You see it's going up, down. For example, Passbook, this application where your tickets are in. If you go to Passbook, did I have? Yeah, I have one here. And if I press oh yeah, I'm playing now with that. The brightness. Now, how was it? I don't remember anymore. But normally the brightness is going up and it's down and so on. So you can here really analyze the network activity, the display prices, sleep wake, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS on the aspect of your energy. And there's a lot of, in the library, a lot of other sensors about the energy also. And now you can mix a combination from your library of sensor, CPU, monitor, brightness, or whatever, disk monitor, read and write from the iPhone and so on. So you can analyze each aspect what you like.
So this is a very powerful instrument in the real meaning of its word. And you can use it together with Delphi for iOS, which is very important and very good.
Okie dokie, so we got it. This was a small introduction about Delphi, iOS and instruments. You see it works perfect. And yeah, so remember, if you're interested for more information, live developer experts bring a lot of roadshows. We make consulting, trainings and so on in Germany and USA. And yeah, hope to see you. Danny, any words?
No, that's fine. See you.
Okay, so I let rotate the helmets for the rest of the day. Bye bye.
Fantastic. Bye.